Hello, friends. My name is Sophia. Welcome to the USA Test Prep Classroom. We are going to learn about recounting or retelling fictional stories. Some examples of fictional stories include fables and folktales. Fables and folktales are stories that are part of cultures around the world. Groups of people who have similar ways of living share culture. Stories are part of people's culture. Fables and folktales are stories that have been retold over and over for hundreds of years. These stories usually teach a moral or lesson. Let's head to the library to learn more about retelling stories. Follow me. The library has many kinds of fiction books, like fables and folktales. These stories usually have animals as the main characters and morals or lessons at the end. Many of these stories are passed down within cultures or groups of people. Long ago, before people had TV and internet, fables and folktales were used to teach the difference between right and wrong. They also taught people about manners and good behavior. These things were taught through the morals of stories. In these stories, animal characters show human traits like greed, pride, or foolishness. A fable or folktale has a beginning, middle, and end. Usually, the beginning introduces the characters and setting, the middle presents a problem, and the end reveals a solution that also reveals a moral. Let's look at an example. In the fable The Tortoise and the Hare, a naturally swift hare makes fun of the slow nature of a tortoise, and they agree to a race. The hare, thinking he has plenty of time to waste during the race, takes long breaks and stops to rest. Meanwhile, the tortoise continues along without stopping. He passes the napping hare and wins the race. The moral of this story is slow and steady wins the race. It explains that being careful and steady is better than being careless and hasty. What I just did is an example of retelling a story. If you find The Tortoise and the Hare in a book, you will notice it is longer and has more details. When I retold it, I mostly focused on the main events of the story. I could retell it and add as much detail as I like. The important part of fables and folktales are the morals. The retelling of the story, no matter how many details I add, should support that moral. Let's head back to the USA Test Prep classroom to wrap up. I had a great time learning about retelling stories. Remember, fables and folktales have been around for hundreds of years because they have been retold over and over. These stories usually teach morals or lessons. Now it's your turn. Find a fable or folktale in the library, read it, and then retell it to a friend. Then talk about what lesson was taught in the story. Thanks for joining me. See ya!